Okay, guys. Okay. To finish everything up here for part two, guys. Okay, just a brief overview of what's going on, right? So remember, Moses, right? You don't want to hear fictitious, the myth. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so we have the mystery schools, which are the temples, learning the alchemy, the meditation, the Zen, and all of that, and the witchcraft and sorcery going on here, right? Remember, the mystery schools were for selective people. Everyone couldn't go to these mystery schools. Look at the mystery schools as Ivy League schools, the elites, the elites, guys, right? That the same thing was going on back then, only the elite children. Okay, we'll continue on now. Continue on. Right? And so, the 42 confessions, the law of Ma'at, right? And here is a list of the 42 confession. Now, these aren't commandments at all. The divine creator would never command you to do anything. Just give you some rules. Now, out of these 42, right? If you take a look, have you broken any of these rules? Well, I can tell you right now, out of the 42, look, out of the 42, okay? Out of the 42, one of them says, have you made someone cry? Oh, yes, I have. The women, I made some women cry, so I broke a rule. Look, and one of the rules also says here that have you taken over anyone's land and basically called it your own? No, I haven't done that, but I know some folks that have, so they have broken a rule. And with these rules here, right, there is the universal law of karma, right? What you put out will return to you, right? It's very important to know that rule. Now, out of these 42, I probably, I'm at, I got 38 down. I haven't broken maybe 37, right? Give or take. But could you imagine, guys, right? If our society would go by these rules instead of the 10 commandments, right? And the 5 that are missing. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on some more. And remember the staff with the snake on it. Okay, right? That's very important to know the serpent kind of wisdom and the serpent knowledge. Where is all of this knowledge coming from? This is all from this Egyptian mystery schools, right? We got to break this down. You got to know, you can't believe anymore, guys, because there's a lot of people like myself that are knowing what's going on. Okay, moving on. Hey, guys, you gotta know that this got to be some form of witchcraft, sorcery, whatever the hell's going on. Like, it doesn't make sense. Moving on now. And I thought this was interesting that the Hebrew Israelites went back to its original thing here and went back to Hathor, right? So let's take a look at who Hathor is a little bit more. Here is the mother goddess Hathor. Do you see the horns and the sun, representing like she's a very important person? And who is the goddess? The goddess of the sky, love, nature, beauty, life, and music. Represented as a cow with cow horns. Interesting, isn't it? Wife of Horus, although some say that she is the mother, said to be the daughter of Ra and the sun god. See, this is the corruption that later on happened in Egypt, because you got to remember, guys, right? The north, which is at the bottom, and then there's the south, which is at the top. They merged, right? And let's just say when they merged, right, we'll call the first 2,000 years Kemet. And then the next 2,000 years would be the corruption. Like Abraham entered around 1800 BC. But Egypt started at 4,000 BCE. So from, let's just say, give or take, 2,000 years to 0, This is where corruption, this is where blending, this is where all of the madness now started to come. Because, you got the Greeks, you got the Persians coming in, you got the Hyksos, I guess those are the Asians. I don't know, right, in detail, right? But this is what we got, right? So, and this is important to know, that before the patriarchs, guys, right? And I don't understand this. Look, in the patriarch, guys, we were matriarch. We were the women-based, right? It was always the woman goddesses, or a balance in between the two. Look, let's take another look here. Even written on the walls, right? And, and my man's Dreads, he'll say, man, this is fake. But, okay, you might be right about this, Dreads, right? Give or take, we're going to do more. I got to do more homework, right? But she's written on the walls. And prior to Egypt unifying, there's more history, guys. And here's the issue that we're having as a whole. For a civilization, listen to me here, for the civilization that lasted like 3,000 to 4,000 years, we look at this civilization as pagan. But it's the longest one out here today that none of us have no idea what has been going on. Like some people think, oh, these are gods and goddesses and this and that. Well, honestly, people, these are just concepts, taking a sophisticated thing in nature, right? And breaking this down into the simplest form. Like, there's many goddesses before Hathor. You've got Sekhmet. You got the goddess Nut that holds the sky and everything. And when the stars in the sky. Like, there's so much information and knowledge and concepts that we have to incorporate to truly understand what is going on, because it seems like someone has plagiarized a story from ancient times and put it in a book called the Bible. And then you have to decipher from the Old Testament and then the New Testament. And then, like my man Greedy Vegan, man, shouts out to you, Greedy, right? You're a pro at this, right? He has stated to me that the New Testament is the new age, and the Old Testament is the old way. Yeah, give or take. I mean, Greedy, he's right about that, So, we have, but the thing that gets to me, that we have a culture that predates all of this and more, and we're not really looking into everything in totality. So this wraps it up for my 2 parts of Moses Decoded here, right? And then we're going to end with the mother goddess Hathor, on the screen, who got blended with Isis and all of that. But it doesn't matter. Before the patriarch, guys, we were matriarchal. And that's a lot of the history and story that doesn't get mentioned a lot in our conversations. Especially when we're speaking about the African history. And let's not forget the indigenous history here we have in America. Hey, thanks for watching, right? Like, comment, share, right? Because, I'm shadow banned out here, baby. I'm shadow banned, but I'm back. Because they're trying to shut me up, guys, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not ever going to happen. All right? All right, it's your boy.